definitely walking on the concrete floors, and you really can appreciate some nice thick carpet whenever you can find it. So comfortable shoes are key. But my biggest advice to anyone, especially first timers, is plan.
Toby Young joins me now. He is president of the Mid-America Trucking Show happening in Louisville, Kentucky next month. Toby, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are plans coming together for this year's show?
They're coming together. We're now just under 4 weeks out, and so putting together all the last minute touches and finalizing exhibitors and events, the different things that we do every year at this time, just all the production meetings and schedules and exhibitor conferences and everything else, just bringing it all together, trying to tie up those loose ends and bring a good show for the trucking industry.
When does planning start for this?
The day after this year's show ends. It's an unfortunate truth, but we're a small staff, and so we focus on this year round. And so as we end this year's show, we'll start focusing on exhibitor exit interviews, meeting with the city, the facility, all the different vendor partners that come in, interviewing attendees, just trying to figure out the good, the bad, the otherwise, and just continually improve.
How important is it to get that feedback, like you said, the good, the bad, the ugly, I assume you want to improve every year, right?
Absolutely. It's absolutely vital. So for us, again, we're a small crew, and we get to see firsthand, 0.1% of what goes on at MATS. And so we really rely on all of our attendees, exhibitors, supporters, media, just everyone to, chime in and let us know good, bad, otherwise. We try to interview every single person that comes to the show via post-show surveys, video calls similar to this one. Just try to figure out, hey, what went right, what went wrong, what can we do better, and just have those candid conversations so that we can continually improve.
Mm-hmm. Can you kind of walk me through this year's schedule and what attendees can expect?
Sure. So similar to past years, the MATS is scheduled for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so March 21st to the 23rd. But new this year, we have an event on the front end of our show, and that's our CMC live event. Kevin Rutherford with Let's Truck and Truck Stop are going to be putting on an event starting Wednesday, so the day prior to the show, and then it runs on into the show as well. And then so when Thursday rolls around and MATS kind of opens with our VIP session at 10 a.m., just before that, we have an opening breakfast with Bosch, where they kind of focus on some of the different technologies, connectivity, just things that are coming down in the near term, changes to how equipment, software, just everything kind of talks together. And then the show opens to everyone at 1 p.m. Lots of exhibits. We have over 850 exhibiting companies, over 1 million square feet of exhibit space, lots of events and entertainment. Then that Thursday evening, we have our opening reception in South Lobby A. We have live entertainment. We'll have craft beer tasting, bourbon tasting, a few like local flavor activities with Louisville Slugger Museum and some other things. So it's free to attend. It's a really great event to kind of just network and maybe meet some people you don't get to see very often and make some new friends while you're enjoying maybe a beer or cold beverage and some nice food and family and friends. Then we transition into Friday, another day of the show with all those exhibits. We have our Friday night concert sponsored by Bennett Family of Companies, Bridge Hall, and A Storin. That'll be the Steelwoods, and kind of a fan favorite, Tony Justice, will be performing. And then on into Saturday, again, more events and education exhibits. And then we have our Truck Beauty Championships award ceremony. The Truck Beauty Championships take place throughout the show, but we have our award ceremony that Saturday. As well, all the education that takes place on the show floor all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That kind of comes to an end Saturday at 4, and then we have a truck and tractor pool where Mack Trailer's bringing a truck and tractor pool to Freedom Hall. It's there on site, that huge venue. We swap out the Thursday night concert for the Friday night concert for the Saturday afternoon truck pool. So just everybody's moving and all hands on deck to make all this happen.
Now, last year was my first year at MATS, and I think everybody I talked to here at OOIDA was like, wear comfortable shoes. which is good advice. What is your advice to somebody who's never been to mats before? What do you tell people?
Definitely wear comfortable shoes. That's
A
just a
lot of
pro
walking.
tip. That's just a pro tip right there. Just, there's definitely walking on the concrete floors, and you really can appreciate some nice thick carpet whenever you can find it. So comfortable shoes are key. But my biggest advice to anyone, especially first timers, is plan. And what I mean by that is, the show itself it's like 25 total hours. If you just, include the hours of mats, not some of the events that take place in the evenings and whatnot. And so you really have to make the most of your time. And so plan. There is education that runs every hour of the day. If your focus is to come to the show, improve your business, become more profitable, become more efficient, achieve your career goals, go through the entire list of education that we have. There really is something for everyone, whether you're on the equipment side of things, the trucking side of things, the back office, software, load planning side of things, the regulation side of things. There is something for everyone. And so, but those events only take place one time, right? One at a time for a given time. And so it's really important to plan your visit. And so go through our exhibitor list, figure out who you want to visit with. We have in that exhibitor list, you can go through and see kind of some of the products and services that they'll be exhibiting. A lot of them have press releases that you can access and video and imagery of products and things like that. So you can kind of build out your itinerary for who you want to see, build out your itinerary for what education you want to take part in, and then build out your itinerary for some of the entertainment, because it's definitely a business show, but there's a lot of fun and a lot of networking and a lot to do. And so plan, 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 stay for all 3 days if you can, but to get the most out of the show, you really have to have an itinerary going in.
Do you find this is kind of like an annual reunion for some people who come back every year and get to see people they probably only see once a year at Mats?
I think the biggest compliment I've ever been given is kind of along those same lines, and that's this is my annual vacation. And so the show means enough to this industry, to our drivers and fleets and supporters, that this is their vacation. And so when they get time off work, they're here, whether it's to see family and friends, to reunite with people maybe you haven't seen for a year or you only talk to on social media or while you're out on the road, but everybody comes here to the event. And so this is your, annual family reunion, your annual vacation where you can, have some fun, improve your business, relax when it's the right time, and, just really get a whole lot done in just 3 days.
Are you expecting any OEMs to return this year?
We have Kenworth in this year. Navistar on the U side will be there. A lot of them will be in attendance, but as far as exhibits, it's just those that I've listed, and they'll have a presence. There's lots of equipment on the show floor. It's, maybe they don't have an exhibiting presence, but they'll have, some trucks placed here or there in a lift manufacturer's booth, or in a tire manufacturer, or in with the trailer in another booth. And so there's plenty of trucks. Before you even go outside and see the custom trucks, where we have 175 of just the most awesome custom chromed out equipment that you'll see out on the road.
And yes, that kind of leads in my next question. What is in store for those show trucks this year?
So something different this year. We used to have that, the Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championships is what we call it. It was located behind the West Wing. Well, there's some changes coming to the building, and so we thought now would be a good time. We've moved it out in front of the West Wing now, and so it's in the large lot right there. So that's something that's a little bit different. We hit our registration capacity on trucks earlier than we ever had to shut it down on February 1, have about 30 trucks on the waiting list. And this year, also new to that event is, kind of this ultimate class. It's our big rig build off. And so we have this first class services is helping us bring in these 4 elite custom truck builders that, build trucks every day, but they're going to bring their best to Mats. And so it's a winner take all $20,000 cash prize plus bragging rights for, who is the best builder at this year's show.
Nice. Now this year, the location for free truck parking, that has also changed. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. So we've typically had free truck parking at Cardinal Stadium. That wasn't available to us this year. And so the facility has a lot that is, it's right across from the main gate. They call it the Highland Festival grounds or the V&W lots. And so we'll have all of our truck parking there. It's about the same size as Cardinal Stadium, but not all of it is paved. And so we're hoping for good weather, but if we don't have good weather, we'll have wreckers or tow trucks or other equipment that can help get you out. We still have plenty of parking for those that are coming in loaded or those that are coming in their bobtails or combos. We'll still get you in and we'll make sure we can get you out as well. And it's free. It's 100% free, and you're parked a whole lot closer than the bus ride will go from being 15 minutes down to maybe 6 or 7 minutes.
Nice. Do you have any idea on numbers of attendees so far?
It's early. It's kind of early to say, but registration is tracking ahead of last year. And just judging by, so in my business, we're very plugged in with other shows and how they're doing, and especially coming out of COVID, now that we're really putting that well in the rearview mirror, shows are just having increased attendance. A lot of people who maybe haven't come out in the last couple of years can be expected to be there. And so we're tracking ahead of schedule, and then the trade show industry as a whole is tracking up as well. So we're excited about who all will be here.
Do you find you get a lot of kind of last minute registrations in the weeks leading up?
Yeah, and that's life gets in the way. It's just one of those things where we're all so busy these days and pulled in hundreds of different directions. And so we've come to expect it. I am confident that we'll have 50,000 plus attendees, maybe even 60,000 plus attendees. So it's still by any measure a very busy show with a lot of strong buying power, and the folks that from the industry that you want to meet with and network with. And there's a lot of business that gets done out on the show floor, and we'll bring those attendees in droves.
I kind of want to circle back to the seminar schedule that was recently released, right?
It was. We've been planning it for quite some time. We have each year we have maybe 40 seminar slots. We had over 200 submissions for speaking opportunities, and so we try to be pretty selective on who we get in. Spread the love a little bit, make sure that we're bringing in some companies that maybe we haven't had in the past, or focusing on some topics that we haven't in the past. But once again, we'll have FMCSA on the schedule with all of the latest regulations and discussions. They have several events on the schedule. Lots of really great companies that are on the schedule. OIDA is on the schedule. Got Truck Stop, DAT, lots of the peer-to-peer networking and learning. So we've developed a MATS Pro team, which is kind of professional drivers that are willing to share their industry experience and expertise. And so they'll have several seminar sessions on the show floor and in the meeting room stage, where they just focus on what has helped them to be more profitable, get home more, make more money, just do better in trucking. And so I find that this is one of the best ways to learn is from someone who's been there before you. Maybe you own one truck now and they did as well, but they're up to 20. And so you can kind of come in and piggyback them and learn from their mistakes and hear what they have to say as far as what's helped them grow and become more profitable. And so it's just a really great program that we're putting on 2 stages, jam-packed, all 25 hours of the show, with education taking place nonstop, back to back.
Now, I know those FMCSA sessions, they fill up pretty quickly. Do you have to sign up for those, or is it just sort of first come, first serve on a seat?
Sure. So for us, none of the education that you see on truckingshow.com/education requires pre-registration. So you can just show up. Yes, it is on a limited basis. I think the meeting room stage is, maybe 200 or 250 people that can be in the audience, but we do record everything. And so we encourage you to be there in person so that you can interact and network, ask questions, and have your questions be answered on the record. And it is a video record. We do record all of our sessions, and then we will host them in our YouTube channel, and then send them back to our attendee via our attendee newsletter for just ongoing education. And they're always available on demand via YouTube, or we'll host them on our site, and you can access all that education in its entirety.
All right. I'm curious, lastly, what is it about the show that you enjoy the most? I know it's a lot of work leading up to it, but once the show's actually happening, I'm sure the work doesn't stop, but what do you enjoy the most?
Ashley, you're asking me that question at the wrong time. These are the 12-hour days and weekends and time away from my family. But
Yeah.
I really love serving the industry. I think this is such a great industry, and by and large filled with such great people. What I get out of the show and what I enjoy the most is when I hear the feedback from attendees and when they can tell me you've made a meaningful difference to my life. And so whether it be education or helping them out with this or that, or maybe a connection, we try to be just very open with our discussions and help everyone out. And so what I get the most out of the show is just that interaction with attendees and knowing that, hey, those long hours and the weekends and everything else, it all pays off with what we can give back to the industry.
All right. Wonderful. Toby, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.